Good evening, Minarets parents. This is your proud principal, Dr. Daniel Ching. Before we get into the details of tonight's meeting, let me just say that we as a school and community are united in our effort to ensure that our kids get the very best education that we can provide them, no matter what the circumstances. Needless to say, we understand that the very best method in which our students can learn is in person with their teachers and with their peers. We look forward to the day in which we can return to that. For now, since that is something that we cannot do, we want you to know that we are not going to let you down. We've always considered ourselves at Minarets to be innovative, creative, forward-thinking, and student-focused. With our project-based learning and real-world emphasis, we have always pushed the idea that students can learn at deeper levels by learning about subjects and skills that are relevant and rigorous. We are still committed to that, and we as a staff will work hard to keep that effort alive. That is why our mantra continues to be, go big, go pro, go now, and keep going. We thank you for submitting all of your questions. If you have any additional questions following this, I'll be sending out another form, and we'll address them in next week's Principals Update. All parents should be receiving a link to update and verify their information for our new ARIES system next week. This will include emergency contacts, addresses, contact agreements, etc. This link will go out next week. Information must be updated and submitted in order for students to receive their laptop. We will be sending out a laptop pickup schedule. Much like last year, students will be doing a drive-through method to pick up their laptop. We will do this to allow for social distancing. If a student has their own laptop, please come to Minarets next week to the Media Lounge with a mask on and have your laptop updated. This may require an overnight drop-off. Laptop pickup will take place on the week of August 10th. Students will pick up their schedule when they pick up their laptop. For all freshmen, we will be announcing details on an in-person small group orientation in the gym so that students can meet staff and get an overview from a distance. This event will take place over a spread out period of time, allowing for safety and precaution. We'll also follow this up with a virtual orientation with resources for freshman parents and students. This year, our students will be receiving and submitting all assignments through our new learning management system, Canvas. Since this is new, we will be conducting all webinars through WebEx as well. There will also be other resources that we will teach in individual classes. But these two platforms, WebEx and Canvas, will be used for daily instruction. We'll provide plenty of tutorials for students and parents on how to use these during our first week of instruction, and we're always available for additional instruction if needed. Our first day of school will be on August 17th. During this time, we'll be conducting mini sessions, giving students an overview on how to be successful in our new online format. We'll also take this week for onboarding for specific classes. Students will have their schedule by this time, and if you have any questions on the schedule, please email Ms. Chacon for freshmen and sophomores and Mrs. Vandenberg for juniors and seniors. Students will still have all 8 classes. Students will have their even classes 2, 4, 6, 8 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They'll have their odd classes 1, 3, 5, 7 on Wednesdays and Fridays. Mondays, students will have discussion questions for each class that they must respond to, but there will not be whole class webinars on those days. Teachers will use Mondays for parent contact, planning, feedback, and individualized interaction with students who need additional help. Teachers will host voluntary webinars for parents to interact with the teachers, get feedback, advice, answers to any questions they have, to really team up. On Tuesdays through Fridays, students will have 4 classes each day. For each class, students will have a maximum of 40 minutes of direct instruction via webinar. This will be inclusive of introducing concepts, review, explanation of the daily task, and that'll be followed by a 20 to 25 minute activity for each class. You can see the schedule here displayed. We see parents as our partners in this process, and we want you to feel equipped and supported. Contrary to an independent study model in which parents are the teachers and responsible for all instruction, we want you to know that we will teach them, but we need you to help support our students and help them to be confident in staying on track. We'll give every resource we can to make that successful, but we will provide that instruction and our teachers will be in contact. We understand that context in each home varies, and we want to do all we can to be flexible. Please reach out to myself, Mr. Wilson, or the counselors if your family context will make it difficult to maintain the set schedule. We'll brainstorm with you and we'll come up with solutions together. We're all in this together as a community. All sessions will be recorded and students will be graded on their activities and their participation. This will also be counted for our state attendance record. In some isolated cases, we'll have small learning pods that students will learn in person. These pods will be 5 or less students with 1 teacher. This will only be provided for career technical education advanced courses, which require a lab element that cannot be done remotely. Special education interventions for students on IEPs, and support for small intervention pods of students who are really falling behind. This criteria will be very specific and limited as we must meet all requirements of COVID-19 restrictions. We'll provide more details of who is eligible as time comes. Again, this will be extremely limited to start with, but hopefully over time, this can evolve. For students with IEP meetings and 504 meetings that are scheduled or need to be scheduled, we will do these virtually for now. Students on IEPs will be in touch with their case manager at least twice per week and will have work time set aside with them. For families that have limited internet or anticipate being without internet, please contact the school and let us know. We're exploring opportunities to establish hubs for students to get Wi-Fi and hotspots in areas that are limited. In terms of returning to school, we're in constant contact with the Office of Public Health and the County Office of Education. We can only do as much as this collaborative decision-making process works its way down to us. Having said that, we're committed to doing whatever we can. As of now, we are scheduled for the first semester to be online. We'll reassess as time goes on, and we will keep you informed as we go. If we do return this semester or next, there is a chance this could be a hybrid model in which students attend once or twice per week in small settings. We've not received any approval for this, nor do we anticipate that happening in the very near future, but as that information changes, we will keep you in the loop. Along with that will come instructions on contact tracing, safety measures, transportation protocols, and more. We will be in touch with you again next week. It's important to remember that with each week, new data comes out, new restrictions, new guidelines, and this is a learning process and unprecedented for all of us. But we want you to know that we're all in, we're here for you, and we're in this together. We'll talk to you more next week. Feel free to put your questions into the form that I send out, and we'll do some more Q&A next week. Hopefully this gives everyone a better picture of how we're going to start, but there's more information to come. We'll see you guys in the coming weeks, and we'll talk to you next week. For now, go big, go pro, go now, and keep going.